Alright, before you put the GPU in, you gotta take this out. Should be thumb screws. Alright, this is how you do install a graphics card. Make sure this thing's out. Make sure you took the brackets out. Just line it up. And then gently push. Wait, hold on. Gently push. You hear a snap? There. Then make sure you put the power in here or it will not work. Alright. This is like 8 power. Graphics card installed. And remember to screw it back in. Alright, so before we hook this up, okay, so if you have a graphics card, see this? You want to plug in the graphics card. You plug it into the motherboard, which right here, you ain't gonna get a signal. Especially if your CPU does not have video out. Like Xeons don't, the Ryzens don't, most of the Ryzens don't. You want to plug it in here. Now this has 3 display ports and 1 HDMI. You want to make sure you plug in the HDMI cable. Right, HDMI is here. You want to make sure you turn it the right way. Plug it in. Also, you want to make sure you plug in your power. My first computer we did, and make sure it's plugging out. Also, pretty sure you want to make sure the thing is in the I position and not the O. If you put in the I position, you're gonna have power. Put in O position, you ain't gonna have power. So let's go turn this on, and I'll show you what happens. Now, before you turn it on, you want to make sure you have power to the computer. You want to make sure your HDMI is in the graphics card, not the motherboard. You also want to make sure the monitor is plugged in. You want to make sure it's set for the right thing. Like if you have it for HDMI 2 and you have an HDMI 1, you ain't going to get a signal. Alright? So let's double check that. Because when you want to turn it on, you want to make sure it works. You know, you want to make sure it's not something stupid, you know. Alright, so that, alright. Also, I recommend, you know, having keyboard, mouse. Also, you want to make sure you can plug in the front, but you want to make sure you plug in the back. Because say you don't have like front panel connectors where you're going to hook it up right, you want to make sure you have that. What I'm going to do is as soon as it turns on, I'm going to mash F2 and delete to get into the BIOS. If you do not have Windows on it, you will not go to Windows, you'll be in the BIOS. Some things you got to do in the BIOS. There we go. Lights up. If you get lights, that's good. If you get lights and you get no picture, then that's good. If it turns off, hit that. But yeah, if you get lights, you're good. Now if it turns off, you know, it might turn off and reboot, you want to do that. But if it keeps doing that, you want to make sure that. So let me go in the BIOS real quick. It's either F2 or delete, it'll say it. Just one mash to F2. I'll say it right here, F2. Alright. So when you're in BIOS, there's a couple things you want to do immediately. Pop the off stuff. Alright. So. First thing you want to do, total memory. Okay? If you put in two 8 gig sticks and you only got 8 gigs, then one, you put it in wrong. Or two, you might have a defective RAM. You want to make sure it says 16. So it should dual channel. Another thing is, let's see what else. Yeah, you can use the arrow keys, but sometimes the mouse. Hold on. Alright. Another thing you want to do, okay, so if you bought overclocked RAM, you want to make sure you set the MP. You want to make sure you set the XMP profile. You just want to hit enter. And you want to hit that or auto. Now, if you put it too high, you ain't going to get it. So I recommend just starting up normal, running everything, then going that. Another thing you want to go to is you want to go to basically boot. Now the easiest way to boot is you're going to make a USB flash drive with Windows. I'll show you how to do that in the next episode. Then you want to select it and put that. So I got two things. I got the shell, which is the UEFI, and then nothing else. That's that. You want to do anything? I mean, yeah, okay. So this is good. You can see your temperature. Alright? Let's say you didn't put your CPU cooler. It might run hot and then shut off. You want to look at that, and then that, and then that. CPU fan thingies. You want to go performance? Yeah. Standard. One performance. Motherboard, now you just want to go on the CPU on this one. Or my settings are going to be different than you, depending on the motherboard. Alright, so once you do that, then you just basically want to go save and exit. Alright. Also, superstitious, but you want to make sure you leave your panel off on this side until you get a boot. Bad luck. It's just a thing. Just do it. Alright. Oh shoot. So yeah. See you in the next video.